Sunday night, October the 27th, and you know what that means. Ringside Heat is on the air on News Talk Sauga 960, your favorite podcatcher, and as well on the next day, the Monday at 7 p.m. on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lex Tan, host and producer of Ringside Heat. I'm alongside three of my good wrestling buddies over here, and they're not plushies or anything like that, but they're just good wrestling buddies to talk to. Let's introduce them right now. But before that, we will ask you to follow us on our social media at ringside_heat on all the platforms, except for Patreon, where you can follow us, patreon.com/ringsideheat without the underscore. Keep up with us over there. DM us. We got lots of cool stuff going on. And by the way, we've got some giveaways that might be coming up thanks to MJDD Collectibles. We will get into that sometime, in the near future when he's able to get those giveaways to us, which should be great. But let's introduce the ring crew here because we'll be discussing the wrestling world again this week. First off, to the right side of my little window over here is our director of digital content at Tabuada 93, Jose Tabuada. Dude, what up?
Another day, another week, another wondering what happened this time around in the world of wrestling, and some big news, some small news, some creative stuff, some non-creative stuff. It's another entertaining week, I guess, in the world of wrestling and in the world of our passion. A lot to talk about.
Yes,
one big news to kind of just keep us going for hours, hopefully. But yeah, I'm here. I'm excited.
Awesome. Speaking of news, one thing I'll just say before we introduce the next person on the panel, I'll be as of the airing of this recording of this episode, I would have gone to Greektown Wrestling and taken in their show featuring the original Sabu from ECW. He's going to be there, as well as other great wrestling talent from Greektown Wrestling. I've got a couple of friends from the Oshawa wrestling scene over there doing production, so I hopefully will get a chance to run into Sabu and shake his hand. So that'll be a lot of fun. The next person on the panel over here is our Twitch streamer, charity Twitch streamer for Sick Kids and Extra Life at Risen72, Colin Dodge. Colin.
Yeah, two things. I'm going into business for myself right now.
Awesome.
Not going to talk about what we discussed. And I'm going to say that November 2nd, thanks to the best donors on the planet, I will now be playing Elden Ring for 24 hours for my extra live stream on the November 2nd weekend. Jose couldn't be more happy than to see me suffer. I believe in myself, however, as much as I believe in Joe Hendry, and I think I'm going to conquer Elden Ring, so, y'all can suck it. But that's November 2nd. Especially you, Jose. Second piece of news, for those that know, Jose and I were quite lucky in picking up Connor Garwin with only 16 collectible items. So if you know what that means, you'll be impressed. But yeah, that's it. November 2nd, Risen72 on Twitch and YouTube. Thank you.
Very nice. And looks like the other person in our panel is broke out an Elden Ring himself or something like that.
What is that?
At Coco Collects, Chico Nugid, our wrestling memorabilia expert, and other such memorabilia as well.
Yes, that is, for those that are unable to watch this on video, that is the one ring to rule them all. So I collect random other oddities as well. Not quite the ring you're talking about, but it is tangentially somewhere in the discussion. But yeah, good to be back. Another week of pretty good creative on both big companies, I'd say. I think, I'd say even AEW made a couple of strides. Some big news that we're going to talk about that kind of hurts a little bit, but I mean, I think both companies are making some pretty good progress on a few things. Besides the other company that's having a pretty big night tonight too.
The ultimate alternative company.
Sorry, that's having. Let me just redo that again. That, like, unlike the other company, also that's having a big night this weekend, and as of recording, we can't really discuss the results, but I'm sure it was a good show.
Good save.
Yes. But what he is referring to is TNA Wrestling putting on Bound for Glory. As of the airing of this particular episode, it would have already aired, but the main event of the evening is Joe Hendry getting his title shot. There you go. And Colin believes in Joe Hendry. Chico believes in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. And how about Jose? Do you believe in Joe Hendry?
Nah.
Oh, that guy's the worst.
I don't know where you guys were wanting. Like I saw 3S's and I saw the opportunity. I'm like, okay, let's just see what happens when I say no, and it worked.
I want it.
It's like
That's
Jose-
exactly why I did that.
Such a
Three
contrarian.
of these
Jose's
things
here to
being
show the world.
together.
Jesus. Yeah.
Okay,
Jose's
that's enough
here
out
to
of you.
show the world.
I mean, look, I've been saying this. I've said it for months. I mean, I thought when Impact had that show in Toronto, was it a couple of months ago, and Henry didn't win that 6-person challenge because he was getting so hot on NXT. At this rate, I wonder when is the time to strike. If this isn't it for the guy, then I don't know what is. I mean, you don't want this to be another like Rusev Day situation where you don't capitalize on putting gold around like one of your hottest figures. In a couple,
I see
right?
your point.
Yeah,
He's a little further ahead than Rusev.
He
Day, I
is
would
a little
say.
further ahead. Absolutely.
further ahead.
I
get your point. I get your
I am
point.
not denying that, but
your
I also think that
Poor Miro.
yes, the win will be great.
He's also still not a WWE employee. So
exactly. What I was saying was even though if or when he wins it, I truly believe that they should have struck at that night when he was just getting so insanely popular in NXT, which was bringing names. I mean, it got me to watch that Impact pay-per-view that weekend. That's for sure. So I think if he struck there and made it work, I think he would have really put everybody on the map because it was so hot. But I do hope he wins it. But I thought it should have happened sooner instead of being a wait.
But it is the I guess as you were mentioning during the break, it was their WrestleMania it's basically TNA's WrestleMania at this point. So why not give it to Joe Hendry at their biggest show?
Oh, of course.
That's right. That's right.
Double-edged sword. Timing's always tough in wrestling. I think we all know that. It's like, do you need to wait for the biggest show? Do you need to wait when everything's like suddenly hot? I mean, let's not forget in the Attitude Era of the amount of title switches that happened that didn't happen at WrestleMania. For example, Shawn Michaels at Survivor Series, right? That could have been a big WrestleMania moment for Mr. WrestleMania. They saved it for a completely another Big Four pay-per-view, another random moment in the year, essentially, other than WrestleMania. It's happened a lot. And I remember like even Roman falling victim to when is he going to lose it? Well, it ain't going to be anywhere else. It's going to be at WrestleMania. The timing and the illusion of big moments tend to be too catered to that biggest stage. I know it makes sense, and that's coming from me, the WrestleMania homer. But I think there also needs to be the practice again of not waiting for those big nights. And again, I think for Joe Hendry, that's a good example of not needing to wait until the big stage. I mean, even going into your WrestleMania, defending the title is pretty big too.
One thing as well, I mean, to your point, Jose, one thing that always comes to mind when it comes to the right time to put the title on somebody was Mick Foley winning the WWF Championship against The Rock at on the night of the Finger Poke of Doom
on a Monday Night Raw of all times, right? I mean,
exactly.
That's a big WrestleMania pay-per-view moment. Then they said, "No, free TV." Of course, mind you, Eric Bischoff said free TV. So listen, who are we kidding, right? So it's the timing
TV as well.
The art,
that's right, free tape.
That was a taped Raw as well because they leaked it. And then that's what got everybody to change over to Raw,
right?
And thus became the
thanks
downfall.
to Bischoff, he gave his competition the lead.
Yep.
He gave his competition the win. I would say not even just the lead. But again, I think this is a great example of just the art of timing needs to kind of return and not just be relegated to one certain point of the year. Because I think I think ironically it can hit bigger if it's not done at an expected point, like Mick Foley on a Monday Night Raw, right? Or like even throwing a random Hell in a Cell on a Monday Night Raw at times. There's an art when you're caught off guard, and it doesn't happen, like Jey Uso winning the Intercontinental title on a Raw a couple of weeks ago, right? There's an art of not waiting for those big shows to make that happen, because then it reels you in even more. So I think, like I said, I think I'm firmly believe, no pun intended, if Joe Hendry won that a couple months back at that pay-per-view, I think it would have got a lot of hype and attention, more than it probably will now.
Chico, call it before we go to break. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's one possible choice for sure. I'm still kind of trusting in the overall creative in that because Hendry seems to have such a big cult following. This is a bigger thing than just a hot shot to the top. Not that that would have been a hot shot because it had been a few months. So I'm partially in agreement with you there. I just think that well, it's so funny we're discussing this, but we don't know the result of Bound for Glory as of recording time. But I mean, I'm hopeful that they pull the trigger on Joe Hendry winning that at their biggest event of the year, supposedly. So, and as a side note, congratulations to Rhino on being inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame at Bound for Glory as well. And I think the name Bob Ryder is the other one that's inducted. I think that's a longtime official at TNA, if I'm not mistaken. So congratulations to both gentlemen for being inducted into their Hall of Fame, which, of course, Dwayne Johnson once made a video appearance to induct one Ken Shamrock a few years ago. So
yes.
Congrats, and hopefully congrats to Joe Hendry as well as of the release of this particular broadcast of ours. Hopefully.
Colin, you get the last word before we go.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a delicate balance of when to do big wins, whether it's on TV or pay-per-view. I remember when we could set our watch to a WWE pay-per-view every 4 weeks on the dot, and it seemed to only serve what was going to happen the next night on Raw instead of being the big thing on the pay-per-view. So it's a balance. It'll overcorrect and go too far the other way at some point and go back. And I think that's just kind of the nature of the beast too. It's just staying on top of that balance and maybe serving the storyline as impactful as that could get. Thank you. See what I did there? I'm here all week.
They used that pun on SmackDown this past Friday a couple times, by the way. So
that's right.
I mean, who doesn't use that pun? Come on, everybody.
Yeah.
Ringside Heat on Newstalk Sauga 960 AM. Later on in the show, we'll be talking a little bit about what Chico was mentioning about the pun of, or regarding the pun of TNA Impact, machine guns and all that, but relating that to the wrestling music. But coming up in the next block, we will be talking about the huge news that Samantha Irvin's time as ring announcer in WWE has, unfortunately for us wrestling fans, come to a close, at least for now. Whatever the future may hold for Samantha, we don't know. Maybe she might be going to a different company to elevate that. I don't know. We don't know anything about this yet. All we know is that she's stepped down. Lillian Garcia has taken her place, at least temporarily. And yeah, that's something that we're going to be talking about when we come back for more Ringside Heat after these promotional considerations. And by the way, make sure that you are going to be going to Wayside Comics on November the 8th, 2024 for John Dawson's Wayside Comics performance of his album Outlier, which is available now on Spotify, wherever you get your music, as well as on 180 gram vinyl at johndawsonmusic.myshopify.com. Back after this.
But if we just walk away, we'll be giving in. Tell me I'm wrong. But if we just walk away, we'll be.
And welcome back to Ringside Heat on News Talk Sauga 960 AM, your favorite podcatcher, and on YouTube, Lextan at Lextan Media. Ringside Heat at Ringside_Heat. Jose Tabuada to the right, Colin Dodge to the bottom right over here, and Chico to the bottom left. Tabuada at Tabuada93, at Risen72, at Coco Collects. And gentlemen, I lamented this week. I lamented this week when I heard the news that Samantha Irvin had announced that her time with WWE as the ring announcer, as the most awesome ring announcer that I've heard in my lifetime, is no longer going to be ring announcer for WWE. Whatever her future may be, I don't know, but I'm eager to see where she goes to next and what's going to happen. But I was shocked. I was honestly shocked because wow, the work and the impact that she had in such a small amount of time in the industry. It's phenomenal. And getting to actually hear her live at a WrestleMania and nearly and in tears crying announcing Cody Rhodes as the WWE Undisputed Champion was one of my favorite moments of the entire weekend. And I lament that she's not going to be part of the WWE product anymore. At least for now, maybe.
First things first.
Mm-hmm.
I love Samantha. I loved what she did. But put some respect on Howard Finkel, sir.
I do. Don't get me wrong. That's the thing.
Sir.
That's the thing. I'll get into that after you go, and I'll get into what I'm going to say about Howard Finkel myself.
Look, her impact is huge, and yes, a short amount of time. And some people, I know, we adored it, and I know there's some people that hated the over the top, but. Regardless, and this is like the traditional wrestling trope of like, if you get some sort of a reaction, it's a great reaction. And honestly, in this short amount of time, it's like somebody leaving before her prime. It's such a big loss, and to me, she's gonna go down as one of the best. I know it's a short amount of time, and yes, I know there are Samantha Irvin haters out there, and I know they're gonna say you're crazy, you're wrong, because unfortunately there's like, as much love as she gets, the hate is up there. Dramatic, over the top. Her WrestleMania main event call was pretty bad. It was unprofessional. You weren't there, all right? Even I was like on the verge of tears as I was celebrating up and down in section 205. So it's such a big loss, and it comes off guard. As to where she goes next, Ricochet has said on Twitter, no AEW, which selfishly I am happy about that. But at the same time, if she went there. What can we do? Yeah. But I believe I believe there are reports, and again, we're not confirming anything. Nobody knows for certain, but I think she's wants to pursue music, maybe even acting. To which, go get it. Incredible singer. She's got incredible talent all around. And realistically, at the end of the day, as much as I am hurt to see her go, she is destined for far more than the WWE. Who are we kidding, gentlemen? I'm sorry, like. WWE will be a footnote in her life, and I cannot wait for that. But that footnote leaves such a big mark in the industry. And I remember seeing reports saying that Samantha was never a fan of wrestling. For the love of God, she was at WrestleMania 14. Nobody, and a teenager like at that age, going to a wrestling show. Come on, you don't go there because you're kind of dragged along. You go there because you want to be there. So for people to say that she's not a wrestling fan, she was at WrestleMania 14. That says a whole lot already. That says a lot. To me, that says a lot as a WrestleMania homer. But tough loss. I am sad. I am happy to see Lillian back. She fumbled already by saying number 1 containers match, which I think she realized she messed up on the spot. And personally, I always thought that, again, this is a hot take, I guess, but I did end up saying that I thought Samantha was miles ahead of Lillian. But that's I think I listened to Lillian even in her original days, and I to be honest, I never got that same reaction for an announcer than I did with Samantha Irvin than Howard Finkel. But I mean, Lillian is great. I'm not taking that away. I just prefer Samantha. But it is great to see Lillian home. I mean, she said it herself, it's her home. And I'm curious to see where she'll go. If it's a full-time thing, great. I don't think anybody's going to say no to that. But selfishly, I will miss Samantha very, very, very dearly. What a loss. Massive loss.
The personality that she put into her craft is something that is insanely. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, now we hear it and you wonder why nobody thought of it before. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, somebody like Justin Roberts has his own style and his own personality in there. I have my own style and my own personality when I go and when I ring announce for the indies. And it's and that's a lot of fun. But there's just something that Samantha did, some that's the creativity that Samantha has, and the flexibility that she has. Actually, that like I will never be able to go Chelsea Green and actually like have people take it seriously, right?
That's a good thing, but yeah.
Yes, very much so, Colin. Very much so. I to the viewers and to the viewers Saeed, we apologize for that. We are deeply sorry.
I don't apologize for that.
Wasn't as bad as I thought.
If you're still here and if you're still here wanting to turn away, we can't blame you. We won't blame you. Just leave with grace, folks. Leave with grace and your dignity.
Yeah, just come to John Dawson's performance at Wayside on November 8th. But anyway,
We'll see you then.
Samantha Irvin is, to me, second greatest of all time. I'll put her that high. Okay. We'll go with Jose and say the Fink, all-time number one.
Of course.
The amount of innovation he put in was also nothing to be, nothing. It's not any small feat. I mean, I think his impact reverberates through all of the fight industry.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just the way he announced, I think it affected every other sport that does ring announcing. That could just be me observing, but I have a feeling that it has some impact on a lot of people. And
I could be wrong, but is it not because of the Fink we have people saying new for title changes?
Oh yeah,
right.
Is it
And
because of the
new
Fink?
and
I could be
new
wrong.
is
I
like
could be
a
wrong.
Fink thing. I think you're right, Jose.
I would say so. I would
But-
hope I'm right.
But
Yeah,
but
sorry,
also but also Samantha, like to what Lex said, she also innovated, and that is a hard thing to do in ring announcing, from what I've seen. So yeah, she will be thoroughly missed. I can't add much more than what Jose and Lex said. She definitely was kind of just building her legacy in pro wrestling. She is young enough where she can come back, as we've seen with Lillian, actually. So if she needs to, if she wants to, if the stars aligned again, I don't see it being the end of WWE and Samantha Johnson or Samantha Irvin on screen. I don't see the end of that relationship in terms of a permanent thing. Good on Samantha for trying to spread her creative wings, and I think she probably does need to devote a full-time amount of energy on the stuff that she's dreamed of. And WWE's given her the roads to some of those opportunities, I bet. So I think now, I guess, is the time to strike while the iron is hot for her. Best wishes to her on her future endeavors. And I hope she loops back around to pro wrestling sometime. Maybe even at WrestleMania as like
I was gonna say it.
one-off
You
thing
beat me
once in a
too.
while. Right? I think that'd be kind of cool, like a special ring
I-
announcing thing.
I was going to say, if not ring announcing, to sing your national anthem at a WrestleMania. I see it.
Sure.
I see her as a comeback.
I'd take that.
I think that'd be a great.
Hey,
way to
bring
open
her
up.
back at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, how is that not? Well, I
Bring
don't
it
know
back
why
for
we didn't
us.
open up with that. There's a lot going on. See, there's a lot of news, but
There is
yeah,
a lot. There's a lot.
if I was gonna say, Chico, if it wasn't, if she were to come back for a night, for the Star Spangled Banner or God Bless America at one of the WrestleMania nights in Las Vegas, in a very expensive Las
Why
Vegas.
not? Or
Yeah,
SummerSlam.
Yeah, either or. But
Two nights.
yeah, you're wrong, Colin.
Shame on each and every one of you. 3 words.
Okay.
Lord Alfred Hayes. That's the best. All right. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Get a towel, Jose. Lord Alfred Hayes. All right. That's the one. Anyway, so
Oh my gosh.
I haven't been watching WWE lately for quite, I don't know, like 2 years, who knows. But so I've missed majority. Now, the clips that I've seen and whatever that I've seen, yes, Samantha Irvin, whoever is incredible. So I think, obviously, by the reaction of you three, she's definitely going to be missed. And I mean, more power to her, to whatever she wants to pursue next. Yeah. Vegas gig, and I hope she gets paid. She should definitely come back for one night. But yeah, I mean, obviously the reach is there. She got through to a lot of people with, I don't want to say a minuscule part of the gig, but in everything that happens in a WWE telecast, her little portion to get that kind of reaction and, good or positive, or negative or positive, that's what you want of an on-screen performer, no matter exactly what the capacity is.
Absolutely.
But she's no Lord Alfred Hayes.
Man, you both bring it up, gentlemen. My goodness, you both bring it up. The like,
Fight me.
the like, what?
Change my mind.
I can't. Lord Alfred, man. I'm so sorry, Jose.
Well, we know what's
No, you're
we know
good,
what's
you're
going
good.
on the reel today.
Yeah, that I already started the edit. No, what I was gonna say is, what made Samantha stood out. To be honest, and I respectively. And in my opinion, I don't even think Justin Roberts hit that level. And some people think that they're wrong. But the way that she brought personality to each superstar, everybody was unique in a sense. I mean, obviously Chelsea Green. We all know Chelsea Green, Cody, Gunther, Imperium as a whole. The Bloodline. That's hard to do and to remember, to control your voice, because you need to remember each cadence, each pitch, each style. Sure, you get used to it as you go over the weeks, but that's still very tough to do and to ace and make it sound like you're doing that for the first time. Samantha really trained her voice well, and honestly, an incredible singer, and I think that proves it. I don't even think you need to hear her sing to know that the way that she controls her announcing, you go, oh, man, she's probably good on the mic, or good singing. I should say she is on a microphone. That I'm gonna miss the most, and I'm worried I'm not gonna see that with Lillian, which is fine because her style of announcing is straight up, just go for it, project for everybody, which is fantastic. Alicia Taylor, I think, is trying to replicate that a little bit, and it's tough because Samantha Irvin already did it. So that's what I'm gonna miss the most. The personality. It's that I think that's what is the bigger loss to me, aside from losing Samantha in general. Is just the personality for entrances. They're like Imperium is gonna feel different. Cody Rhodes is gonna feel different. Chelsea is gonna feel different. It's this one stings. Don't want. Yeah, sure. I'll say stings. Yeah. It's an impact.
Question is Chelsea Green's theme does it include Samantha's voice as part of the intro? Is that Samantha's voice?
I'm pretty sure it's
Chelsea Green.
Yeah, it has to be.
Okay. So okay, I don't hopefully that sticks around.
It ain't Michael Cole. It ain't Michael Cole. So.
Now that's two of us who have done a Samantha Chelsea Green sort of impression over here. Now I got to hear from Jose and Colin.
I was a little more subtle because you are not subtle, Mr. Tan.
No, I'm not. Not at all.
Exactly.
It's a blessing and it's a curse.
What big news? But again, I know she's gonna kill it wherever she goes, and go get it. Go get it. She has all the talent there, and if WWE was the chance to open the door, especially with how popular WWE is now, what a way to strike! What a way to capitalize the momentum of WWE as well. The door is open. All eyes are on you. Everybody knows who you are at this rate because WWE is getting more popular again. I was just like, I had breakfast with a friend today, and he said that his colleagues, he said that I used to be his only wrestling friend, and now he says other people are getting in on it. And I'm like, there you go. It's growing. So which means that more names know Samantha Irvin. The mainstream media is coming back to it. So what a way for Samantha to get into that door, knowing that's the case. Maybe like The Rock in the early 2000s. I would even go as far as that.
Well, she is a Johnson, so
right.
Not that Johnson, not that line of Johnson.
Right.
But that's a great point. It's not to mention the universal acclaim from other people, other ring announcers. Michael Buffer himself giving his love and respect to Samantha for her call of of Cody's victory at WrestleMania. I mean, like, other than the Fink, Michael Buffer is the other, is the other one from that era that made such an impact on ring announcing on the whole, and it wasn't just for boxing, but it was for WCW. I mean, like, the fact that like WCW had Michael Buffer on as their exclusive, as an exclusive to them, which is that's something I'll always give WCW for, because Michael Buffer is awesome. To you were saying what you guys were saying earlier about Howard Finkel. It's true. The Howard Finkel is the most innovative and the guy that birthed what ring announcing is today, because before that, you look back at the Thriller in Manila and things like that, and boxing and boxing and wrestling matches from before. No one knows who those announcers are. No one cares who those announcers are. But it was Fink. It was Fink, the person who we started caring about who ring announcers were. And I'm glad that Samantha Irvin took that ball and ran with it harder than than any of the peers that came after her or that came before her rather.
The last thing, because I think I don't know if you need to go a break or not, but just in case, last thing, the memes and the reaction that Ricochet got when the announcement was made. Oh, good Lord. That man has been quote unquote scrutinized. The man has gone after. It says, you know who we blame for this? We blame Ricochet. It's so funny. It's so funny. And yes, I think I know it's a joking matter. At least with this, I think we're all in agreement that it's in a bit of a joking manner. I don't think anybody's really serious, like, threatening him or anything, but it's been really funny to see, I saw a meme about, us, like somebody crying at a funeral for Samantha Irvin, for example, which is a bit dramatic, but the first comment, the most liked comment was, I blame Ricochet for this. Yep. It's just so it's if he's taking it like a champ, then great on him, but it's just sometimes memes are born from the most random thing in the world. I think this is definitely a fun one. I think we're all gonna look back and blame Ricochet. I don't know.
For all you old school hockey fans, Janet and Wayne Gretzky.
Wow.
For Chico who doesn't follow hockey at all, back in 1988 when Wayne Gretzky was traded from the Edmonton Oilers after he had won his 4th Stanley Cup with the Edmonton Oilers and was traded during that off season, a lot of Canadian to the LA Kings. The people blamed it on his marriage to Janet, and but that was not the case.
Chico just sent the Michael Buffer tweet in our group chat. I'm gonna read it out here. The layout here kind of messes it up, so I can't really share it on screen. But he does say, "No, my wife and I are so sorry to hear this, as I'm sure millions of other WWE fans are. Samantha is brilliant and super professional as announcer, plus her musical talent as a singer and flautist are amazing. She does play a killer flute. All the best to her moving forward with her career, and perhaps we'll see her in future events, including boxing and MMA. That right there should shut up the haters." That seals it. Michael freaking Buffer just endorsed her. All of you haters, shut up.
Nothing shuts up the haters. You have to ignore
it. Enough.
It's Michael Buffer.
That's insane.
The internet still exists, so there will be hate.
And if the Fink was around, God bless the Fink. I do miss his voice dearly. I feel like he would say the same thing. I know Lillian has, and I know a lot of people have high praise for Lillian. Michael Buffer, ladies and gentlemen, what a guy, what a legend.
Michael Buffer
endorsement.
Ringside Heat on News Talk Sauga 960 AM. We're going to go to break here, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the opposite of personality, Def Rebel and their music, apparently.
And that's Lex Tan saying that he was the one defending them for the
yes, time. I'm gonna get into that.
He's finally cracked, ladies and gentlemen.
Speaking of crack, Jose, oh man, he cracked twice hard in this segment, that's for sure.
They just got ran over by a truck. That was the only way I can explain it. Go to back after go.
Back after these promotional considerations.
Tell me I'm wrong, but if we just walk away, we'll be giving in. Tell me I'm wrong, but if we just walk away.
And welcome back to Ringside Heat on News Talk Sauga 960 AM, your favorite podcatcher, as well as on YouTube. Lex Tan at Lex Tan Media, at Ringside Heat, at Ringside_Heat on social media, patreon.com/Ringside Heat. Jose Tabuada at Tabuada93, Colin Dodge at Risen72, Chico at Coco Collect, and we are going to be talking about another report of complaints from the talent about WWE music group, particularly Def Rebel. And I'm going to preface this by saying that I've been out of the entire ring crew. I've been the one to defend Def Rebel because they have done some really good work. For instance, I will reference to Gunther's theme. I will reference to Jey Uso's theme. I will reference to Roman Reigns, the OTC, and the original Tribal Chief theme. very, very good stuff as well that's going on, and also the symphonic arrangements that we saw that we were able to hear at WrestleMania for Cody Rhodes and for Roman Reigns and those themes as well. Like I don't doubt that they have an amazing talent, and I don't doubt that they have amazing creativity. However, with another complaint this week from inside the WWE locker room about just again people that the things that you guys have been complaining about in terms of the lack of personality when it comes to Def Rebels music and for the talent. I have to now confer with you. I will have to now, I guess, agree with you guys on the level, because when I
There
heard
it
them,
is.
yes, when I heard the Motor City Machine Guns theme yesterday on SmackDown, or 2 days ago on SmackDown, I was sorely, sorely, sorely disappointed in what in that, because I loved the Motor City Machine Guns theme from TNA. And I know there's rights involved in that. I know that that there's money involved in that maybe TKO does not want to spend, which they should really spend on, because Tony Khan can spend on it to get Final Countdown and spend $20,000 for the rights. But yeah, no, I was really disappointed by the Motor City Machine Guns theme, and maybe that was a little bit of a Freudian slip. Anyway, anyway, I want to hear you guys rant on again on the Def Rebel thing, because I've stood my ground on it, and now I'm starting to crack a little bit over here.
I just want to confirm with everybody around the world. Let's agree with us on Saturday, October 26, 2024 at 2:04 Eastern Time, 2:04 p.m. Eastern Time, friends of Ringside Heat. Once again, that is Saturday, October 26, 2024, the day of recording for episode 158 at 2:04 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you, friends.
Thank you.
That's right. In the year of our Lord Alfred Hayes.
Yeah. Okay. That is incredibly.
Was that so hard? Was that so hard? Okay.
Look.
No, it was not.
Now, maybe you guys need to make a timestamp for this. Maybe Lex is right to a certain extent about some of the music. We all like to yeet with everybody. We all like to stand tall with yes, we all like to.
I will not yeet. I don't understand that word. I'm not going to be a part of it. Anyway,
learn it.
No yeet for at Risen 72. Apparently,
no yeet. Yeah, you're not helping your cause. You're calling. Look, my issue with Def Rebel is sure. Again, like we heard some incredible things, and yes, the symphony at WrestleMania 40, especially in person, was a sight to behold. To hear, sight, whatever you want to say. The problem, my issue with this was repetition. My issue with this was the lack of creativity after 30 seconds, for the most part. I mean, Jey Uso's theme is great, but I think like after a minute, maybe 90 seconds, it just goes back to what you heard at the start of the theme. Outsourcing to proper bands and everything was why we remember all these great themes, right? Like Batista's thing, and mind you, Jim Johnson. Yes, I know this could be a terrible argument that could backfire on me, because Jim Johnson also repeated a lot of his stuff, but there was also a hook and feel, and it felt meaning and gave personality, like we said in the second segment, to those characters of the Attitude Era. These themes that repeat don't really give. They not only do they sound similar, I felt like they never gave, for the most part, a personality for these superstars, because they're all so similar. Again, your exceptions: Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Gunther. Even though Gunther is just isn't it like a regular, isn't it a regular symphony number? If I'm not mistaken, it's just revamped in a sense.
Piece? I'm not sure.
I don't think that's a Def Rebel proper original. I thought that was a Anyways,
also Lex Tan's mic is muted.
I think he did that on purpose. Did he? I don't know.
No, he was talking. He was trying to talk.
But I'm not surprised, because I think we all know that music in the past, especially if it's outsourced, can really impact or make or break a wrestler. I think our greatest example was the Royal Rumble in January, when people were coming out one by one. You had no idea who it was, because you did not know the theme, or the theme did not stand out.
Yeah.
And there was too much reliance on that opening dome, like the opening like key moment in a song, like it's Tiffy time or ooh, so that kind of thing. things got repetitive really quick amongst different superstars. So I'm not surprised, and I think we all knew this, but sure, some personality here and there. But at the end of the day, no, I think this is gonna go down as some of the worst era of music. And we thought CFOs was tough, and then Def Rebel came into the mix.
They did some pretty good
They
stuff
did
too.
as well,
But
but
yeah,
there was a
to your
general
point,
concern with that.
Jose.
Sorry, Chico.
Yeah. Yeah. To your point, like DIY, for example, right? Their theme song, worse than the Motor City Machine Guns, even. It's so bland. And I think I've heard the same theme from other acts. Like, just that even the we are DIY, it does not evoke anything in me as a fan. Most of their stuff is so vanilla. No offense to those who like vanilla ice cream, but like it's just not standing out. And you want to pull people in, even with the music. And that's like, first impressions are very important. And your first impression coming into a match is the theme music most of the time. So it's got to be better than it is currently. For the most part, I'd say. Credit to Lex for pointing out the standouts, but that is very few and far between. Perhaps fewer and further between than ever.
Yeah, it's I don't know what for that, Lex. Is there anything that you wanted to add? Sounds like you're Colin.
Contract situation maybe with those guys.
Oh, he's really having an audio issue, folks, which means it's Jose.
You're not on at all.
Shine, no. So, folks, now it's a new de facto host of
so
the
he's
show.
even talking and there's nothing. Okay,
there's nothing going on. Well, forgive us, ladies and gentlemen, for that awkward, harsh cut that happened moments ago, talking about Def Rebel and the music of Jose Taboada, Colin Dodge, Chico Nugent, and I'm reintroducing myself here because we seem to have audio issues on Lex's end of things, which means that the proper host has returned, folks. That's right. The one with working audio is back. Jose Taboada, your favorite voice, is here. So again, like just to kind of piggyback up on our Def Rebel conversation, and just trying to catch up with everybody. Yes, they're looking to continue sourcing their own music because I think they want to make the money as opposed to paying for it. Which again, I get it. So that can be a big chunk of the paycheck, no matter how big your company is. You always big companies, large companies, they always want to find a way to save music. So I can't blame them, but yes, the personality aspect needs to return. And I don't know how much further we go from this, aside from the points that everybody made, other than I think Def Rebel ran its course, which sucks to say because you don't want to ever hear people losing their jobs. You never want to talk about that aspect. But at the same time, how many of us would be let go if we weren't doing our job properly in general, in life, in society, right?
Yeah.
So
well, the point that was made earlier that I really like.
No, it's okay.
What was I going to say? I mean, Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view. And so the point that was made where the music hits and no one instantly knows who's coming out right at that moment before they walk out. Like, if that's not the benchmark, if that's not the telltale sign that you don't have the right theme, that you don't know when that first either opening chord or sound or record scratch. I mean, we can't all have record scratches and glass shattering, of course, but
no.
You have to have that opening chord or something and not just rely on the video. And I mean, maybe there's generic bland videos happening as well that still didn't keep people in. So, but yeah, if that's not a benchmark that things aren't hitting the right mark, that's huge. You got to make a change at that point.
Chico, is there anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to ask Colin actually. What's your take on Mikey Ruckus and the job he's doing at AEW for this? Because he's the guy that's essentially the Jim Johnston of their side of things right now. I can't remember like a whole lot of themes that are standouts in AEW. Plus their audio mix to me still kind of like they still got to figure that out, because in WWE at least you can hear the theme through the broadcast. But sometimes I still,
It's tricky as well because, I mean, man, does AEW love their factions. So, like, factions can have their own theme song as well. So you could have Orange Cassidy coming out to something a little bit different that's not always. And also, because you have instances like Final Countdown, maybe they're going to come out to Final Countdown for a month before going back to their original theme, which the Valkyries. So the entrances or the music can change anyway. So you have a very popular one that this is the theme they're using. Even the Elite were using Wayward Son, Carry On My Wayward Son for a while.
Oh yes.
And so like it changes a lot. So they don't give a lot of chance. Now, like even BCC, it's different now because of the story change that they're going through. House of Black has been the same, but it's your generic death metal though. So it's nothing that they're not chanting CEO, thank God, or House of Black, which is great. I'll never let that go.
I have my thoughts
I hate it.
Oh boy.
But you know what I mean? So the ones that are
right
standing out are standing out for the wrong reason.
I think, look, at the end, like I said, at the end of the day, personality matters. You want to enhance your talent with your music. Jim Johnson did a phenomenal job with that. And even when they outsourced, they got it right. Like Colin said, the Royal Rumble, that benchmark was crucial. And I think there's a lot of songs today that just, unfortunately, I think accidentally hinder the talent because of the lack of personality and the lack of standout, which hurts because I think that trickles down more than I think people realize. But that's a conversation for another day, as we do have to wrap it up here, folks, for episode one.
Just
go
one
for
more
it, go really quick. Yep.
One more point. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Hangman Adam Page might have the best music and entrance video because you know exactly what it is.
Oh boy, that is pretty big.
I need
I'll
to go
give you that a
down
little.
Yeah, I gotta go lie down.
I don't know why you're dropping that bombshell before we go.
Take it easy,
folks.
Sorry.
That will conclude it for us here on Ringside episode 158. We apologize once again for that awkward audio moments that happened moments ago. We still don't know where Lex is. Hopefully he's somewhere out there just living life and just being one with everybody. So again, we do apologize for that. But for now, folks, we're going to ask you all to please follow us on all our social medias at Ringside_Heat. Of course, we are available wherever you get your podcast. This is Chico Nugent. You can find him on social media at Coco Collects. This is Mr. Colin Dodge. You can find him on social media at Risen72, and tune in November 2nd when he suffers for 24 hours with Elden Ring. And I am your suddenly temporary and beautiful guest host, Jose Tabuada. You can find me on social media at Tabuada93. We are Ringside Heat, and we remember the things that you want to forget. See ya, everybody.